Hello, welcome to Tom's Watch Reviews. I'm your host Tom, and today I'm going to kick off this channel by reviewing my Citizen Nighthawk. Now, I don't have such an outstanding British accent like some of the other YouTubers, which is mainly because I'm German and I'm trying to speak English, but I'm sure we can still manage. So let's get to the bloody review now, shall we? Okay, here we are at the review table with my Citizen Nighthawk. And first things first, I want to let you know that I paid for this watch with my own money and I have not watched any other reviews about this watch. So what you're going to hear are my genuine thoughts about this watch after living with it for about a month. I got this watch as a gift from my wife after looking at it for quite a while. She noticed that I was going back to look at this watch online constantly, and so she decided to surprise me. She's married, okay? This might bias my view on this watch as I attach feelings and emotions to it beyond its pure material value. Okay, so this is the Citizen Nighthawk, and it follows a trend of stealthy and blacked out dials, as you can see right here. The 42mm brushed stainless steel case is PVD coated, and let's see if I can give you an all-around 360 view. I'm going to take it off the pillow here in just a minute. And all black. And it's mainly brushed. I hope you can see that it's brushed, except for the bezel is polished. The rest of the case is brushed, and the bracelet is brushed as well. On the bezel, Citizen decided to include this grip texture, which hopefully you can see here. And I think it looks quite nice, and it grips quite nice, but since this is a non-rotating bezel, it really does not fulfill any function other than pure aesthetics. I like it. I think it's nice to look at, and it gives the profile quite a distinctive look, and I think it's a pleasing visual feature. Moving on to the other side of the case, and just let me take it off. And we can get some better light. We find on the other side we find the two buttons to operate the tachymeter, as well as the screw down crown. The crown has a grip texture, but it's much more aggressive than the decor around the bezel, which makes it easy to grip and operate. After unscrewing it, which I'm doing right now, there are two positions, and I don't know if you heard it, let me do it again. It pops out quite nicely after just around one rotation. So I'm gonna turn it, and pop, there it is. Gives a nice crisp pop. So the first position sets the date just by scrolling down. Let's see if we can work with the light. I hope you can see the date changing. There it goes. And you have to rotate the bezel quite a while. It's like 1 day per rotation. So if you fall away from your date, then yeah, it's going to take you a while to go all the way around. And then the second position you can obviously use to set the time. Okay, push it back in and screw it down. The crown rotates super easy, and there's almost no resistance at all. And as you could see, I hope you could see it, the the seconds on the sub-dial down here. The second handle continues on ticking, which is, I think, quite usual on 4 chords movement. The glass that we see here, trying to give you some nice visual of it, is a mineral crystal. It's not domed but flat. It has a rounded edge. You can see it here. It has a rounded edge, and it sticks out just a notch from the bezel, so they're not the same level. It's like a fraction of an inch, maybe half a millimeter, that it sticks out from the bezel. And I could not find any information about air coating, and that's because that's why it reflects quite heavily. Let me clean this up really quick. My fingerprints. Here we go. Yeah, you can see a lot of reflection going on with that glass. And the 2 buttons I already mentioned here on the side, they operate the tachymeter. The top button starts and stops the second hand, while the bottom on the bottom resets it to the 12 o'clock position. The button in the top position gives a really nice and crisp feedback when I press it. I hope you heard it. And it sends the tachymeter on its way, and off it goes. And to stop it, you just push the same button again, boop. But this time you don't get this nice feedback. You just get a pretty empty feeling, I would call it, to stop the tachymeter. And then you can press it again, it continues, and you can stop it again, but you always get this empty feeling. You only get a nice crisp button click on the first push. And then to reset it, you use the 4 o'clock button right here, and pressing it gives a nice crisp click as well. Use some distance here, and you can see the second handle of the tachymeter going all the way around the bezel and stopping just right at the 12 o'clock position. And I think that movement of the second handle around the dial is really pleasing to look at. I like it. I like to play with it. So if we look at the dial, I think they did a great job in staying within their color scheme. Now moving from the outside of the dial to the inside, we have the tachymeter with a gray background and a light gray markings. I think you can barely see them. They're really hard to see there. On the 3 o'clock position, there's some light reflection going on. You can see the markings there. The 12 o'clock subdial is part of the tachymeter and gives you a 60-minute counter. So that only runs when the tachymeter is running. The 6 o'clock subdial is your regular seconds indicator, and the 9 o'clock position shows the current hour in a 24-hour format. The subdials on the 12 and 6 o'clock position also have applied bezels with printed markings for minutes and seconds respectively. I think the subdials are nice to look at, but frankly I think they're pretty useless because the markings are so small and the unit markings are even smaller, and it's impossible to get an accurate reading, at least for my eyes. So, and the same goes for the tachymeter. It's nice to look at, but to actually use it and get an accurate reading would be difficult, simply because the contrast between the markings and the background is so low. I'm trying to give you a view here. Alrighty, let's put it back on the pillow here. There we go. Okay, moving on to the minute and hour hands. Let's clean this up again. There we go. And the hands have a decent size and they allow good reading for the time well. The gray color you see on the hands and the indices is actually loom. Yes, you heard that right, the Citizen Nighthawk has loom. But don't get your expectations too high. It really is a very low amount of loom and sure pretty far from C3 Luminova, but I didn't even know it had loom for the first 2 weeks, and then I tried it with some pretty heavy flashlight to get the loom up, and yeah, it does have loom, but it fades so quickly it's not even worth a loom shot. But I might give you a loom shot anyways. So now looking at the bracelet, it's black PVD coated and brushed stainless steel. It matches perfectly with the watch and therefore creates a well-rounded look of the watch. Apart from that, the bracelet feels pretty cheap and it pulls my hairs like constantly. Get a nice branding here. And other than that, PVD coating holds up pretty well. Not many scratches on here after wearing it for about 2 weeks. But yeah, you only get 3 micro adjusters on the clasp. It's your standard folding clasp. Right, nothing really special going on here. 3 micro adjusters, and that's about it. No diverse extension. Yeah, it feels pretty cheap, and I think I'm going to switch it out pretty soon for an aftermarket bracelet. Lastly, if we look at the case back, you see it's a polished chromium stainless steel. It has a laser engraving. Let's see if you can see that. It's pretty hard with the light reflection. Citizen Nighthawk Eco Drive, of course, charged by sunlight. And again, nothing really special going on here. Personally, I would have liked it better if they had it black PVD coated as well, but it seems to be Citizen standard polished case back that many other models use as well. I think a black case back would really just complete that mysterious 100% blackout look the watch achieves so well. Okay, I put it on my wrist here really quick so I can see how it fits. I have a 7 3/4 inch wrist, and I think it wears pretty well. Now, as I said, it's all black, and it achieves that visual pretty well, except for that case back. You can trying to show it to you here, like you can see it from the side. It just sticks out. Overall, I enjoy wearing this watch within my rotation. I think it's well built and designed apart from the bracelet. However, Citizen calls for an MSRP of $525 for this watch, which in my opinion is way too much. There are other watches in this price category which offer better value by bringing a sapphire crystal and a better bracelet to the table. However, I found this watch for $395 at the local jeweler store, and my wife was able to pick it up for $315 from eBay, brand new with tax. I think this is a reasonable price for a watch that is more accurate than an automatic watch in this price category, and it does not need maintenance for many years as the battery charges itself using sunlight. This concludes my review of the Citizen Nighthawk. I hope you enjoy watching the first of many watch reviews on this channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you the next time.